You're supposed to see this. Excuse me, guys. Sorry. Alright. So I found this video. I like it. Posted by Kamal Glover. Link is in the description below.
So you had some interesting comments today here at the VidCon about what's happening in China. Of course, we know about the crackdown on initial coin offerings and also the crackdown on exchanges. Now you're saying some CEOs of Chinese Bitcoin companies can't travel. What are you hearing on the ground about the state of disruption right now?
Within China, everything is extremely uncertain. Any officer of any cryptocurrency exchange in China may not leave. Okay, they're not being arrested at the airport, but they've been told privately that they should stay in Beijing. The rest of the world is in chaos, of course, because no one knows what's coming next. I mean, are they going to ban mining? That would be extremely disruptive to the Chinese economy and to the world.
A lot of the Bitcoin mines globally are in China.
Well, the largest is in China,
right.
owned by Jihong Lu. You know, tens of thousands of.
Another sign of, you know, are they really cracking down, as in they're trying to kill Bitcoin? No. China's cracking down because China is regulating all of this. They're the first country to take that kind of stance. Like, you know, Japan said, hey, it's legal. You can pay your taxes with Bitcoin. You know, I'm sure, I don't know what they're doing about regulation, but they're just like, oh, it's legal. Well, China is more like restriction, control, regulation. So that's what they're doing. So when you have the biggest mining operation is in China, you think that they're really going to crack down on that? Maybe, but that's the point he's making there, I think. So
Machines mining 24 hours a day, and those coins are staying in China. So I do not think that will happen. And I truly believe that
Do you guys think it will happen? Let me know what you think. Are they going to crack down? Would they crack down on China, on the biggest Bitcoin mining operation in the world, which is in China? So they're allowing that. What do you guys think?
Chinese government is a very rational government, and in the long run,
yeah, listen to this.
I do not think that will happen. And I truly believe that the Chinese government is a very rational government, and in the long run,
yep, that's what I was saying.
Come back and legalize ICOs with certain legislative restraints.
Yep.
That will legalize exchanges, again, with controls. Because what's happened, people have taken advantage of China.
Right.
People would come over and do ICOs in China, promising 1,000% return in a week. Okay? Oh, please, you can't do that. And so it was making everybody look bad. So
yep.
I think in the long run, it's very good for the cryptocurrency community.
But
I said that in one of my previous videos. I believe it's the walking thoughts, you know, my thoughts on the China ICO FUD hype, the China ICO ban. I put that out a little bit after I actually after it actually happened. The first the first news of the ban coming, or when it did happen. So I put that out there. I said the same thing. I said China is doing what China does. They're smart. They know what they're doing. They're cracking down because it has to happen. They're just the first country to really do it. And like he said, they're rational, and that this is actually something that will be better for all of us in the long run. This is all part of the growth of Bitcoin entering the mainstream. So this is it, and it's still going to be, we're talking bumpy rides ahead, in my opinion. Tell me what you think in the comments below. It's going to be a bumpy ride ahead, because on one side, it's more and more getting into the mainstream. On the other side, it's more and more getting into the mainstream. And there's a lot of mainstream entities out there who don't want it getting into the mainstream. So what we're looking at ahead of us here, a bumpy ride, because it's going to be a war. The war is beginning. It's trying to make its way into the mainstream, and then you have a bunch of people trying to fight that. So there's going to be a lot of push and pull with everything moving forward, just like there kind of has been, you know. So it's not going to be anything new. Just brace yourself, be prepared.
Do you think there will be too much regulation? Are more governments going to over-regulate and crack down? Because you've heard all the arguments. There's no intrinsic value, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, well, of course they will. But this will be a seesaw effect. Because when legislation is enacted, people will get around it. We're talking about a decentralized world, a decentralized process where peer-to-peer activity is common. You cannot legislate that. Well, you can, but then how are you going to enforce it? You'd have to have an enforcer in everybody's home. Well,
you can legislate. You have to have an enforcer in everybody's home. Exactly. Because you can make it illegal for somebody to steal another person's identity and use their credit card. You can make it illegal to for somebody to give someone else a check with money they don't have in their account. That's illegal. Does it stop people from doing it? Hell no. Will it ever? Hell no. Because as long as the crime or the con continues working, then people will continue to do it. I don't care if it's legal or not. You know, some people, a lot of people. So look, you just can't stop it. We can make it illegal, and that's gonna make Bitcoin and all that. It's gonna make it all even more a little, just kind of a weird, dark situation, I think. But man, there's so much at play, because it's not something that can be stopped. I think if they were to make it, crack down and do all this, make things illegal, like here in the U.S., to where I can't be on these exchanges buying and selling, and if I am, then I'm breaking the law. So then I got to go and do what? Go through the dark web and cover my tracks and do all this stuff. People will do that, and some will get caught, some won't. But if you make it illegal like that, you're only going to make it worse. You're only going to keep it a dark, underground, mostly criminal activity, when it's just not. It's just not that. It's not what it's meant for. It started out in that space because, hey, that's a whole nother topic of discussion. So, yeah, you just can't stop it. But it would be very, very troublesome times, I think, if they did just crack down on it all. But they won't. There's too much money in it. There's too much money to be made. It is also obviously the future, okay? It's like Napster. It's like music sharing, file sharing, video and movie sharing, all that. It's the same thing. It's peer-to-peer. All right? Could they stop it? No. Is it illegal still? Yeah. Did they ever fully stop it or make it? No. People still download and spread all that illegally all the time. All right. Blockchain is the same way. It's here to stay forever. So it's either going to be all criminalized or decriminalized. Either way, it's going to be a huge part of our future. So I think if you criminalize it, you're going to make everything a lot more unstable in general in the future. Let me know what you think. Comment below, alright? Do it. And subscribe right now. Do it. Come on. I'm going to be making more videos like this. I'm going to be cranking them out, baby. I'm going to be cranking them out. I got a ton. I got tabs, all these open. It's insanity. Alright, sorry. Let's finish on the video, please. Thank you very much.
People will get around it. More legislation will be enacted. People will get around it. But in the end, governments will lose, because the power of this technology supersedes and is way above the power of centralized government.
Now I know you're on record.
Governments will lose and all that. I'm not so sure about that. And look, I don't really push the whole how it's anti-government, anti-centralized. I mean, I get it. It's cool. But at the same time, our whole world, our whole reality is so ingrained in the system of governments. And there's all sorts of arguments about the pros and cons of governments, centralization. So I'm not some political expert, not some social expert, so I don't really know, but it just seems to be something that everybody just kind of throws out and says, and it sounds great, and it's a good selling point for Bitcoin, and that's cool. It's fine. But will governments really lose? Not so sure, man. not so sure. Government's got a lot of power on their side. We already screwed up and gave it to them more and more over the years, over the decades, over the centuries. Alright? So, it is a lot of weird times ahead, I tell you. It's because who knows? Who knows? So will they lose? I don't know. I don't even know if I hope they lose. I mean, it's such a... There's a lot to that specific topic. Let me know what you think.
Saying you expect significantly higher prices. We saw this dip after the China crackdown,
right,
but it's already coming back.
It's already come back to 4,000. Okay, it was at 4,000, and it was not just China. It was Jamie Dimon of J.P. Morgan.
Well, he
who
called
said
it
a fraud.
Fraud.
Right? Well, I went on right after him and said, "Please, sir, wake up. Which is the fraud? Because it cost my company over $1,000 to create a Bitcoin. What does it cost to create a $100 bill?
Nothing.
Please. Europe now is going to be 20,000.
Do you see Hong Kong playing a significant role now that China is not necessarily playing in the game at this point? Hong Kong, a lot of cryptocurrency companies have started up here.
Well, here's the problem with Hong Kong. It is still legally part of China, all right? And while China has had difficulty integrating it, if they choose, they could step here and collect me and everybody here. So I think Hong Kong, too close to China. You know, I'm thinking Switzerland, India, the Philippines, you know, reasonable places. The world is a large place.
All right. So, all right. So, hey, look, there's video. There's video number 1. Ooh, yeah, make the big clapping noises. It's gonna freak the geek out. No, all right. So let me know what you guys think. I mean, that's it. I just want to share it and give my couple of cents on it, a couple of opinions and ideas and thoughts about it. And that's it. Stay tuned. Subscribe below, please. Hit that like. If you're freaked out by me and Harry Henderson here, good. Hit that dislike. I don't care. You know, do whatever, please. Please, please, please. Let me know how you feel about everything you just saw. All right? And stay tuned because I think I'm about to make another one of these and I'll be putting it up shortly after. So, all right. Love you.